In the high-stakes world of Silicon Valley, Victoria Sterling was a force of nature. To her, time wasn't just money, it was a weapon. She lived her life at 100 miles per hour, trading empathy for efficiency and people for profits. But the universe has a funny way of slowing you down when you refuse to do it yourself. Somewhere on a desolate stretch of Route 66, her $300,000 Ferrari decided it had had enough. As the engine sputtered into a humiliating silence, Victoria stood on the scorching asphalt, staring at her dead phone. For the first time in a decade, the woman who owned the future was stranded in the middle of nowhere. That's when an old, rusted Ford F-150 pulled up. It looked like a relic from a different century. Out stepped Caleb, a man whose face was a map of hard work and honest son, and his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Victoria didn't see helpers. She saw a delay. "It's a specialized Italian engine," she snapped, her voice dripping with Ivy League arrogance. "You wouldn't understand the first thing about it." Caleb didn't flinch. He didn't get angry. He just tipped his cap. But it was little Lily who stepped forward. She looked at Victoria with eyes that had never known a boardroom lie and whispered, "Don't worry, ma'am. My dad has magic hands. He can fix anything that's broken." Victoria watched, skeptical, as Caleb knelt in the dirt. He didn't have a diagnostic computer. He had something better: intuition. As the sun began to dip, painting the desert in hues of gold and violet, the silence changed. It was no longer empty. It was peaceful. Victoria found herself sitting on the bumper of that old truck, sharing a lukewarm juice box with Lily. Lily told her stories. Not about stocks or acquisitions, but about how her dad once stayed up all night fixing a neighbor's tractor so they wouldn't lose their harvest. Victoria looked at Caleb's hands. Greasy, scarred, and steady. They reminded her of someone she had tried to forget. Her own father, a man who smelled of sawdust and sacrifice, a man she hadn't called in 3 years because she was too busy building an empire. With a sudden rhythmic roar, the Ferrari came back to life. The impossible machine was conquered by a man with a $20 wrench and a heart of gold. Victoria reached for her purse. She pulled out a thick roll of $100 bills. To her, this was how the world worked. "You provide a service. I buy your dignity. Take it," she said. "Buy your daughter something nice. Buy a better truck." Caleb looked at the money, then at Victoria. He gently pushed her hand away. "Out here, ma'am, we don't help for the paycheck. We help because it's the right thing to do. Use that money to buy yourself some time to realize that not everything with a price tag is valuable." Lily handed Victoria a small desert flower. "Liking the car is easy, but liking people is better," the girl said with a smile. Victoria drove away that evening, but she wasn't the same person who had arrived. The roar of her engine felt quiet compared to the lesson echoing in her heart. She realized she had spent years fixing companies, but her own soul was the one that was truly broken. A year later, a heavy package arrived at Caleb's small garage in Arizona. No return address. Inside was a state-of-the-art toolkit and a letter confirming a full college trust fund for Lily. Victoria Sterling still runs a billion-dollar empire. But if you visit her office today, you won't see her trophies or magazine covers. On her mahogany desk sits a dried desert flower in a simple glass jar, because she finally learned what Caleb always knew. Wealth isn't about what you have in your bank account. It's about what you're willing to give away for free. My name is Kindness in Life, and thank you for watching.